Welcome back, everyone. Welcome back to Let's Play Rimworld New Year's Cult. This will be part... it's like 4, I think. In the last episode, we managed to lose Anuan. She got drilled in the... oh, no, that's right. She got attacked by a cougar looking for food because we are in the depths of winter. Well, we're actually at the end of winter now. We were in the depths of winter. For this episode, I'm hoping to get our little, like... what do you call it? Area done. Our, like, crypt. If you get the crypt done. And then... I don't know. Ooh, cargo pods. With some Chthonian chitin. That's actually not that useful, but sure, why not? Go and grab that. Actually, can we even get out that side? Okay, we can't. We have to go all the way around here. Everything keeps landing like the furthest away it could possibly be from my thing. Okay, we're still trying to recruit Artyom. Okay. Nothing there. Yes, he's still a little bit resistant, but that's okay. Oh, hello. Mega Schlauth. Did they attack? Oh, I see a hare getting killed. Mega Sloth. Yes, they do. Okay. I was gonna hunt him right now, but maybe that's not the best idea. Man, you are working super slowly. I guess just because it's in the dark and it's probably like not a good temperature. That's probably what it is. Right, I am trying something a little different with my recording today. So it might sound a little different. I doubt you guys will notice, but if you do, let me know. I'm just trying to mitigate the heat here, because we're in a massive heat wave in Australia at the moment. Well, heat wave and it's summer. So, yeah, it's not gonna get cooler for a while, and Rimworld is the most intense one, where I have to sit here for a very long time to record. Because, like, some of you might be wondering, like, why I do an hour episodes in Rimworld. It's because nothing gets done in Rimworld. If I did 30-minute episodes of Rimworld, like, yeah, I would achieve nothing by the end. Wow, you dropped that by 0.7. That is the worst thing I've ever seen. Is your room really that bad? Slept in the heat. Wow, I would love to sleep in the heat in the middle of winter. It's -5 outside, and you're like, oh, I slept when it was a bit warm. Friggin' hell. Butch up a bit. On a cold snap. Well, there you go. It's gonna get even colder. Okay, we did clear some of that snow. Wow, it took them a while. They should have died ages ago. We do have a bit of jade there, which is kind of cool. Please just, like, deal with it. Oh my god, 0.6. Good lord. Good lord. Okay, we're sort of just waiting. Okay, we're getting the snow cleared out. That's good. I could actually start building some paths, I guess, since we are, like, clearing the snow. Couldn't I? Do you have a lot of steel? We have a fair bit of steel. We could do paved tiles. Maybe? Some paved tiles? Just where I'm clearing the snow. So, like, all around that. Yeah, okay. That's what we're gonna do. That's what we're going to do. We'll go paved tiles, they go up to here, to there, and down. Did I really only make that one thing wide? No, it was too wide. I thought so. More paved tiles. Like this. But I obviously didn't get this bit. Right, what was I doing? Paved tiles. Just like this. and that was a 3 wide there. And I can even do some in the middle as well. So we go paved tiles like this. There, look at that. Look at that, looks great. Tell you what I have been playing in my spare time again. Just because it was like past due, is fucking Fallout New Vegas. Man, that game never gets old. But what I will say, I'm a big New Vegas fan. I think Fallout 4 was not as great as it could have been. Like most people. Pretty much the average opinion for most people that were a fan of New Vegas, I think, is that like Fallout 4 was fine, is usually the best opinion you'll get out of someone that was a fan of New Vegas. But it had some, like, it had a lot of shit stuff about it, which is fair. Fallout 4 was a lot more action heavy. And the new Fallouts, because I have now played Fallout 1, I have yet to play Fallout 2. I have it, I just haven't sort of got around with it. They're big games that, these days, I can't play games like that back to back. Like, I'm not going to play Fallout 1, finish it, then play Fallout 2. That's kind of excessive, a little bit crazy. So, I've played Fallout 1. I enjoyed it quite a bit. I think it's... Once you can get past the old graphics and you just sort of, like, immerse yourself in it and just have fun, it is quite good. I think the start is really rough. Because I've done the start of Fallout 2, like, I've played it for a good, like, couple of hours, ages and ages ago, and did not do very well. I think the start in both of those games is really rough if you don't know what you're doing, and there's really not much of a tutorial or any way to learn how to do anything aside from just to live, die, repeat, basically. Wow, that was quick. Okay. Well, now we have Artyom. Do we finish our... we did, we finished our thing. Question is, though, what is it, Misk? Do we have enough wood or some sort of stone? We don't. So we are going to have to... Okay, we'll just start with 4, and we'll make him at least good. We're going to have to cut down some more trees. We are deforesting this whole place so quickly. We're going to have to plant some trees, I think. Not I think, I know. We're absolutely going to have to plant some trees. Oh, we have the battery set up. Excellent. Okay. Let's run some conduit. I doubt I will get any, Wow, Artyom, please. You just came to the colony and you're gonna eat us out of house and home. It's a bit rude. I can see why you were so quick to join, though. Sorry, what was I gonna say? Yeah, I think they're very difficult. You just have to really get into it. I don't think I'm gonna get any power here, is what I was talking about after Fallout. But yeah, so like I haven't played Fallout 2 to completion. And Fallout 3 was, when it came out, was probably one of my first like proper AAA games that I played for a long time. Because for a long time, like, I love PC gaming. I've loved PC gaming for a long time, but I never really had a great PC for like modern games, stuff that came out that year and you play it that year, right? But my cousin, who lives up the road from me, he did have a PC like that. So occasionally I would go up to his place and play the new games. I think Fallout 3 was one of those. I think Fallout 3 was one of the games. Actually, no, sorry. The first, what I would call like AAA game that I played, first modern AAA game that I played, would have been like BioShock, the first one. And it was amazing. So good. There's a lot of things I wish you could do in life, and number one being, I wish you could just, like, wipe your brain, forget about a game completely, as if you'd never played it, and experience everything again. Because, my god, there are some games, like, I'll play Fallout New Vegas time and time again. I'll not play it for a couple of years and then come back and go, oh, I forgot about this, or, oh, I haven't done this before, I'll try this. But that doesn't get you the same thing. Yeah, sleeping mechanoids, I don't want it. That isn't at all the same feeling as just playing it when you... like, playing it from scratch. Okay, Tone's having a tantrum. Nice. Playing it from scratch where you've never played it before. And you just, like, you're experiencing everything brand new. And especially a really story-driven, like, twisty campaign game like Bioshock was probably the best introduction to modern AAA gaming I think I could have gotten. Really. Which is... I'm happy about that. But yeah, like, I wish you could go back. Or you could actually forget about a game. Because, yeah, you can play Fallout New Vegas, you can do a different thing, whatever, but you still remember the game, you still remember how it works, you still remember how everything goes. You know, it's still fun, but you don't have that sense of discovery anymore. That's sort of forever gone. Which is just a bummer. Right? It's not a bad thing, it's not a good thing, it's just unfortunate. Right? I just wish you could go back and change that, which is a bit of a shame. So anyway... started playing Fallout New Vegas, like... it is definitely a step backwards towards a more RPG formula than Fallout 4 had. Fallout 4 is very action-oriented. Compared to 1 and 2, the point I was originally going to get at is, compared to 1 and 2, Fallout 3 is a lot more action-heavy, and a lot less RPG-heavy. Like, so much less. If anyone has played, like, the modern Fallouts, like 3 and up, but they haven't played 1 and 2, if you go back and play those, it's a completely different game. Not just because it's a different type, not just because it's done in a different, you know, in a different era. It's completely different. It has a different focus. It's everything that Fallout 3, or everything that modern Fallout is not, is Fallout 1 and 2. But Fallout 3 is still pretty good. Wow, I'm going to spend like half this episode talking about Fallout, but that's fine. So yeah, like, the modern Fallouts are fine. We'll talk about Fallout 4 in a little bit, but like 3 and New Vegas, they're great. And Fallout 3 had some really great moments. Point Lookout being the obvious one. Broken Steel as a DLC was kind of meh, bit rubbish. What were the other DLCs for that game? Mothership Zeta wasn't too bad. I think the core game of Fallout 3 is a little meh. I think the main story of Fallout 3 is a bit average. They tried to lean too heavily into Fallout 2 and go like, oh, the Enclave is the enemy, and you're just like, yeah, but why though? Like, but why? That doesn't make any sense. There's no real need. You could have had new villains, but they sort of... It was when they were new, when Bethesda was new at Fallout again, and they're like, we'll just sort of tease it a bit, you know, we'll edge into the waters. You know, we won't jump all the way in, we'll just put a little tiptoe in, and see how we go. And it was still fun. But the DLC definitely made Fallout 3. Project Anchorage, or no, what is it? Is it Project Anchorage? I don't remember what the actual name of the DLC is. But the one where you go into, like, the simulation and fight at the Battle of Anchorage, that was fun. That was different. I think that's the perfect illustration of how Bethesda has changed, right? You look at Fallout 3, base game, you go and save the... You go and, you know... What is it? The water purifier, blah, 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 blah. Fallout 3's story, to me, is a little bit crap. Crap. Hunting Aesop. What's an Aesop? Oh, it's a husky. Well, we're gonna make him regret it. Well, bring it on, giant grizzly bitch. Right, get him. Just keep pummeling him. He can't fight back. There we go. Finish him off. Less bears around here, the better. Yeah, you look at Fallout 3, like, the main story, it's not the worst thing ever, but there's been better, right? But then you look at the DLC. As I said, Broken Steel, probably, in my opinion, the worst DLC. Mainly because it's just so boring. It's just a continuation of the main story, like, meh, you know. It's fine. It is nice that they added that in so you could play beyond the end of the game, when previously you couldn't. But that's probably the best feature of it. And it's just more fighting with the Enclave, and more playing, or like helping the Brotherhood of Steel, which, in my opinion, is like one of the most boring factions in the modern Fallouts. Brotherhood of Steel, get rid of them. I'm sick of seeing them. The way they were handled in New Vegas was way better. Anyway, so like Broken Steel, then you had the Anchorage one was completely different to the main game. You had like Requisition, you like built a squad that you brought with you, and it was like in a computer simulation, and you were like playing an old battle virtually with like all these old soldiers and stuff, and you were fighting the Chinese, and like it was quite interesting, right? It was different. It was so different from the main game. Then you look at The Pit, where you get in there straight away, they take all your weapons, you're a slave, and you have to sort of like start from nothing and like build it up again, dodge around troglodytes or whatever the hell they were called. Trogs, I think they were just called Trogs. So you had to like dodge around them and like collect steel and stuff. It was a bit tedious, I'll admit, but it was still so different to the main game. Completely different, and you got some decent weapons and stuff out of it as well, right? Mothership Zeta, I heard it was a buggy mess, and I think it still is, even in like the Game of the Year edition. But again, completely different. You're on an alien ship. You're alone. You find other people that have been like unfrozen, and one of them's a Japanese samurai from like the time when samurais were on Earth. You know, it's not like someone who thinks they're a samurai. It's someone who is actually a samurai. Like, that is so different. And then Point Lookout, I'm not even going to talk about that one, because if you haven't played Point Lookout in Fallout 3, do yourself a favor. Do it. If you haven't played Fallout, if you don't have Fallout 3 and you haven't played Point Lookout, do yourself a favor, buy Fallout 3, buy Point Lookout, play it. So much fun. It's so much fun. It's so weird and surreal, but it's quite a good DLC. So, like, that's all the DLC for 3. And they're all very different from the main game, except for Broken Steel, which is just continuation. So we'll let that one slide. But then, like, fast forward to Fallout 4. Like, what are the DLCs in that? You know, the main game is... the story, I wouldn't say... actually, no. I'd say the story is probably better than Fallout 3. I quite like the Fallout 4 story a bit more. But the gameplay and everything is a lot better in Fallout 4. I like the action direction they took, because combat in Fallout is really janky. You can sort of remember it and see it through rose-tinted glasses and be like, no, like the Fallout 3 combat was amazing. It was like the pinnacle of everything. You're like, have you played it again after you played Fallout 4 though? It's pretty janky. It's pretty janky. That was the one thing I had to get used to with New Vegas again, was like the combat. And the number one thing in the new Fallouts that was 100% improvement, and anyone that says otherwise is lying to themselves. I'll tell you that one in a minute. But yeah, you look at the Fallout 4 DLC, you have what? Automaton, which is basically just more of the same. Like, yeah, you can now build a robot, but the story's just kind of average, and it's just a callback to Fallout 3 with the whole mechanist thing. That's so average, and mainly, the main point here is, like, it's more of the same. You guys are gonna... I hope you guys have, like, seriously, have you buckled in, because I'm gonna rant about Fallout for about 30 minutes, right? And I want to hear your thoughts as well. Like, if you have any thoughts about the Fallout series, about anything that I'm saying, like, mention it in the comments. I know that this isn't an amazingly watched series. I think like 3 people have like watched this, but yeah, it's very interesting. I'd love to hear your guys' opinion. So yeah, Automaton, meh. It's more of the same. Oh, great, an eclipse, neat. What was the next DLC? What are the DLC in Fallout 4? You have the Nuka-Cola one, Nuka World. You have Far Harbor. You have Automaton. Was there one more? Or was that it? That might have been it. I'm trying to think off the top of my head. If there are any more, the last one must be really boring. Like, really boring. Yeah, so then you look at Far Harbor, which is unfortunately the only one that I haven't actually played, which pretty much everyone says is the best one. But it's... Much as it probably is the best one, it's just a callback to Point Lookout. At best, it's a callback to Point Lookout. And it's still just more of the same. It's just you going in there and solving everyone's problems. You know, you just get on a boat from the mainland, you go off to the other one, you do everything there, you come back. You know, you get to keep all your gear. There's new gear over there, but not much. It's just more synths versus other people crap. You know, it's the same shit, just somewhere else. And then Nuka World's probably the only really particularly different one. And that's just because it's Raiders versus everyone else. And you have the 3 factions of Raiders. And I think... I don't rate that everyone hates on Nuka World. I don't mind it. I think everyone's just sick of getting railroaded down that choice where it's like, oh, you have to be evil. And here's the thing though, right? The issue that I have with it is that that's not a bad choice. It's not a bad way to do that DLC and go, oh, now you have to side with the Raiders. Or you miss out on a lot of the DLC. Like, that shit that they don't have, like, a fully fleshed out option for both sides. However, the only reason people hate it is because the Minutemen are such a big thing, for whatever reason, in Fallout 4, like, Bethesda decided, oh, the Minutemen, they're gonna be, like... They're going to be the thing that the player just loves. They're going to be the thing that the player really, really connects with. For whatever reason. I don't like the Minutemen that much. And that's the issue with Nuka World. Is like, you have to betray the Minutemen to side with the Raiders. Like, you have to. So, they sort of shot themselves in the foot, where they're like, oh, we have this one faction that the player's going to love, because they're the one they meet earliest, they're going to... you know, mess around with them the most. Hell, there's a companion from the Minutemen that you get, like, so early in, if you just follow the main game. And then we're going to make a DLC where, to continue it to the end, you have to betray that faction that you've been working with from the start. That's so dumb. So dumb on their part. But the DLC itself, I quite enjoyed. I like the new world space. I like the stuff in it. It's got a little bit of that weirdness, but it is still just a lot of the same. Which is where the problem is. You know, like, you look at the 2 DLCs, all the Fallout 3 DLCs, barring Broken Steel, which is a story continuation, is... They're all uniquely different and strange, which is what Fallout's all about. It's about weirdness. It's about post-apocalyptic weirdness. But then you look at Fallout 4, and there's nothing that weird about the Commonwealth. There's nothing that weird about the DLCs. They tried to be quirky with Far Harbor and be like, oh, there's the fog. The fog's so bad, but it doesn't really affect you as a player. It's just a story thing. You know, like, it's never really an issue, from what I've seen. Like, it's as foggy as Point Lookout, and Point Lookout didn't advertise to be foggy. Or have the fog. The special radioactive fog that's unique only to Far Harbor. You know. It's kind of average. So, anyway, that's like Fallout 3 versus Fallout 4, right? Because they're the main Bethesda games. Fallout New Vegas, obviously done by Obsidian. A lot more RPG heavy, because Obsidian makes RPGs. Also, this does not have to be here anymore. We'll just deconstruct it. I'll build another one when I need to. And you're going to think I'm really hypocritical here when I talk about the Fallout New Vegas DLCs, which in some ways I am, but it also ties into why I love New Vegas versus Fallout 3. Why I think Fallout 3 was fine, but New Vegas is amazing. Is that you start in New Vegas. Also, sorry, before we talk about New Vegas, best thing to ever come out of Fallout 4, the thing I was talking about before, like, best thing to ever come out of Fallout 4, anyone that says otherwise is lying to themselves, being able to look at a container and just grab everything out of it, without having to open it and, like, open a new screen. Best thing to ever come out of Fallout 4. That and them going out of their way to make junk useful. Because going back to New Vegas and realizing that containers are full of so much crap that's not worth any money, weighs a lot, and has no purpose other than to sell is very interesting, to say the least. Have I said not to plant? Yeah, no. You can plant there again. Because, yeah, you can shit on Fallout 4 all you want, but at least when you open a container in Fallout 4, you are either A, looking for junk because you want to build more settlement stuff, or, create weapon mods or whatever. Or you are you are not disappointed when you see junk, because it has value. It does things. Group of pirates. What do we got? Ooh, an SMG, a Luger. And the other. Okay, so we're going to do something like this, I think. Actually, are they attacking straight away? Probably not. Okay, I think we might just wait for them to come to us, maybe. We hide in, one of these. We hide in this building. And we just charge out with swords. Or, knives and clubs. That seems like the cultist approach. Right? Sure. I mean, it's only guarded by 2 enemies. Might be doable. I don't know if I can afford to send, 3 people away. Okay, here they come. Now it was... Right. Not gonna do that. I think in the last episode we were considering doing this, right? 2 turrets and an enemy is kinda bad. A vanometric power cell. I don't remember what they're for. That's absolutely a mod thing. I'm sure we can use it. Okay. Alright, everyone in here. Yeah, do we wait in here? Or do we just wait, over here? Can I actually get there first? Yeah, they can get there. Alright, the dog went out. Yes, this is where we just, we just bum rush them, basically. Actually, we should do that the other way around. My bad. We'll chuck you there, you there. We'll go back to Fallout talk in a minute when I'm not being assaulted. Can you target him, please? And then... actually, you guys can go home. Tone, you've just got some bruises. You'll be fine. We'll send the stabbers out. Maybe they can run him down, but probably not. I don't think anyone's particularly fast, are they? There's no one that's a fast walker. Oh, there's a jogger. I mean, he could catch him. I don't think he will, though. Nah, they're too close to the edge. Okay, that's fine. Anyway. Yeah, so, that's a couple of big improvements in Fallout 4 they made over the previous Fallouts. That if anyone that says otherwise either hasn't played the previous Fallouts to know how shit it was previously, or they're kidding themselves and they're finding any reason to hate on Fallout 4. I don't particularly like Fallout 4, but I don't hate it. I don't have to go out of my way to justify why it's crap. I don't like it. I don't like it at all. I will go back and play it. I think the gunplay and just the running around and shooting stuff, that's a lot more fun in Fallout 4 than it was in New Vegas. But the story, which is a lot of what Fallout is about, is definitely lacking in 4. No argument there. But they did add a lot of features that were quite good. Anyway, New Vegas, right? Comparing Fallout 3 to New Vegas, there's some things that I remember saying when I was a kid and Fallout New Vegas was coming out soon. I played Fallout 3, I loved it. I was like, oh my god, Fallout 3 is the pinnacle of an RPG. It doesn't get better than this. A modern RPG with guns and everything. Doesn't get better. Okay, good. We did actually get him just before he went off. I remember hearing some things in Fallout some things coming in New Vegas, and I was just like, like, who the fuck cares? One of the biggest ones I remember was, like, iron sights, because Fallout 3 doesn't have iron sights. When you zoom in Fallout 3, if you haven't played it, it just zooms the camera and tightens your reticle. In fact, I think in base Fallout 3 it didn't even have, like, a proper, what you would call, like, a gun reticle. It just had, like, a reticle. So it didn't even tighten the reticle. It just zooms, so you can see further and aim better. It does, like, actually tighten your aim, but Fallout 3 doesn't have, like, a dynamic crosshair. So it's just, it tightens your aim, but you don't see it on the screen, but if you start firing, you'll notice it does get tighter. Constancy's treatment. Oh, Robert probably needs to get treated for, like, anxiety, yeah. So, like, actual iron sights are in New Vegas, and I was just like, that doesn't matter, like, who the fuck cares? Like, Fallout 3's work just fine, and now I can't think of... Can't consider playing a Fallout game without iron sights like New Vegas. I can't even consider going back to Fallout 3 anymore. Because, for a few reasons, but the iron sights thing is one of them for sure. Guys, can we just put this out? I'm, again, real sick of looking at it. Thank you. Like, I don't care what you do after that, but whatever. Alright, it's like iron sights, there's a few other things, but then Fallout New Vegas came out. I was just about to call it Fallout 4. In my heart, it will always be Fallout 4. Like... And it blent into the weird straight away, right? It immediately leans into the weirdness of Fallout. Because first thing that happens, Fallout New Vegas. Again, this is, for people that haven't played it, this is like news. For people that have played it, bear with me on this rant. I have to tell everyone about everything. I assume if you watch here, though, you probably have played New Vegas. I play a lot of, like, slow-paced strategic games and things like that. New Vegas, it's a personality thing where, like, if you enjoy watching this kind of stuff, you probably enjoy playing games like Fallout New Vegas and those slower-paced games. Yeah, anyway, Fallout New Vegas opens. Literally, or rather, boom, literally, you've been shot in the head. Like, you got robbed by a guy, boom, he shoots you in the face. And it's kind of glossed over, like, you don't die, you get dug up by a robot and patched up. And then, like, your first main quest is, like, your first main quest, track down the guy that shot you and get the thing back that he stole. Because you're playing as a courier. It's so weird that all the other Fallout games are all, like, you're a vault dweller or whatever, whereas this one is just like, you're just a courier. You're just whoever you want to be. You happen to, deliver packages, right? But it's delivering packages in the wasteland, so you're a bit of a badass, because, you think, like, settlers and civilians, they're the shit tier people that don't have to defend themselves, like, they're in a group, they're all... They get complacent when they're in a group like that. Whereas you're the courier, your main job is to just trek over the wasteland all day, every day. So, you're a bit of a badass. You have to know how to take care of yourself. So you get into that, and straight away you've been shot in the head. Like, that's weird. The fact that it just glosses over that, and you're just like, okay, sure. Let's just pretend that getting shot in the head and surviving is normal. Wow, another raid, really? I didn't even check. I think they're attacking immediately. Ugh, and they actually have weapons. They have weapons. Yeah, they're definitely attacking immediately. Okay. Okay, we'll just shuffle you guys around a bit. Now, I know that you can't be shot when you're close to each other, but does that work for one square of difference? I think it does. I don't think they're going to shoot my guys in the back. They definitely fixed that in this version, or in, like, up to the release of Rimworld. Actually. Okay. You go after him, and we'll send these two after you. You go here. Because you're pretty bad, right? You got a headshot. That's not great. Where's the other one? Where the fuck is Carissa going? Whatever. I don't want to let them get their crossbow up and ready. A Gisame, is that what it is? A combat-focused polearm which can stab, slice, or hook the opponent. The Gisame sounds Japanese. Came in a wide variety of shapes and sizes and traditionally wore many names. However, the general concept remains the same. A long polearm with a hook to grab an opponent from horseback and a long spike with which to stab him. Okay, so you call it a Gisame. I would just call that, what is it, halberd? I believe is the, like, medieval one. They're generally the ones with, like, a hook. A hook and a crook, as it were. Nice, we got 2 prisoners. That's not bad. We will let you guys all go home because I'll get Tone and Rubber to capture. So around here actually worth grabbing. I guess we'll check when they get taken home. I doubt I'm going to need a fire in there, so I might just leave it. Okay, you treat. So what about you? Are you good? Incapable of none, gourmand, brawler, sanguine. That's not a bad combo. Capable of none, industrious, and body purist. That's also not a bad combo. I think I'll have both of you, actually. Welcome to our cult. Welcome to the Fluffy Kitten cult. So anyway, yeah, Fallout New Vegas. Like, now this is where it's going to get hypocritical. This is where you're going to say it's hypocritical, which is perfectly fair. There are some bits that are a bit different, and I'll talk about them, but... Ooh, medical emergency. Lily. Oh yeah, it's just extreme blood loss. I kind of expected that. That should... Yeah, it's fine. It's fine. The DLC for Fallout New Vegas. So, in the order at which I play them, usually goes... Honest Hearts. I think the order I play them, I believe, is the order in which they're leveled, not the order they're released. Because I know that Dead Money came first. Then I believe it was Honest Hearts, then Old World Blues, then Lonesome Road. But anyway, I play Honest Hearts, which is more of the same. It's probably the weakest DLC, in my opinion. In terms of substance, like, I don't like Honest Hearts that much. It's a bit of a grind. It's a lot of wandering around the same, like 1 square kilometer, or I think it's like 2 square kilometers or some stupid thing. But it's not much. There's not a whole lot of space in Zion Valley in Honest Hearts. And it really doesn't have that much more interest. Because the thing with the big difference between Fallout 3 and Fallout New Vegas is, like, Fallout 3 is the story of Fallout 3, right? And this is not going to make a lot of sense, but I hope you'll get what I mean after a while. Like, you play Fallout 3, you're sort of... You don't have that much impact on the main plot. You do things to the main plot, if that makes sense. It's like, the main plot of Fallout 3 could be handled if you were any sort of schmuck, right? Like, even if you were... At the start, it's like, oh, you're chasing down your dad, or whatever, so that's that. But Fallout 3, if you had started in Megaton, right? And your dad was in Megaton, and then he disappeared, and you went to chase after him. That would... be exactly the same, right? The story in Fallout 3 is based less on you as a character rather than, like, everything in the wasteland. It's a story about... Like, there's the best way to describe it. Fallout 3 and Fallout 4 is a story about the wasteland that you're in, not necessarily a story about you. Right? If you follow? Whereas, like, New Vegas is 100% a story about the courier. It's like, the whole story revolves around you being a courier. And it's what you have done, and what your past is, your unknown past, and everything like that. That is what the story of Fallout New Vegas revolves around. That's what all the DLC revolves around. So, it's sort of, the story of Fallout New Vegas is you building yourself up from this nobody courier that got shot in the face to, like, a legend of the wastes, right? You're the kind of person they talk about in campfire stories in the wasteland after Fallout New Vegas is over. Whereas in Fallout 3, it's like, you know, it's kind of the same, but in a way, you can imagine that the stories around the campfire that would go, oh, you should have seen, like, the Brotherhood of Steel came. You know, oh, there was this guy with him. He was really cool as well, but, like, it was the Brotherhood of Steel and Liberty Prime and, like, all this stuff. And then, it was the Enclave versus the Brotherhood of Steel, and they saved us all. Whereas it's kind of not going to be a story that, like, you were the one that did it, if you follow. I hope so. Like, comment down below. I legitimately want to hear your thoughts on what I'm saying, because I've said this to a few people, and, like, tried to explain the differences, and why I like New Vegas a lot better, and why I think New Vegas has a lot more of a cult following than Fallout 3. And in most ways, I think it boils down to the fact that Fallout New Vegas feels a lot more personal. In Fallout New Vegas, it's very much your story, not the story that you are a part of. Right? You kind of write the story in New Vegas, whereas in Fallout 3 and Fallout 4, the story happens around you, and you just interact with it. That's what I was saying. So, yeah, Honest Hearts, don't rate it as a DLC. I think it's by far the weakest in New Vegas. It's the one that I would skip every time if it wasn't for the fact that you get they introduced the 45 automatic, and Colt 45, like, that's all you need to say to get me to do something. Just be like, oh, you can get a Colt 45, like a Colt M1911. Love it. I'll do it every time. Guaranteed. Here's the secret to the Aussie Nerd. How to convince me to do anything. Just say I'll get a Colt 45. Done. I think it's a brilliant gun. I love it. It's iconic. It feels good. In most games, it's, like, not shit tier. Feels good, looks good. America's gun. Looks great. Love it. So, like, that's the only reason nowadays I play Honest Hearts, which I find quite funny. Right. That's bad. Please amputate right leg. No, now that I think about it, don't bother. Like, she's gonna die, I'm pretty sure. Where are we? Oh no, she'd be fine. Maybe. Ooh, it'll be close. We'll Ivan Drago this bitch. Like, if she dies, she dies. Like, who cares? But it seems like she'll be okay. Barely, but she'll be okay. Because I don't want to amputate her leg and then recruit her then, and she's only got one leg, and it's just not worth it. It's not worth that hassle. We're not hurting for people at the moment. We could always use more, but we don't need them. So I'm not going to bother. So, Honest Hearts. Then the next one I normally play is Old World Blues. Which is, it leans into the weirdness again. It is more of the same. It's very grindy DLC. There's a lot of collection stuff in it. But it is quite weird and quite funny. I don't think I've ever laughed harder at a Fallout DLC than the first time I played Old World Blues. It leans into that silliness that I think is missing from a lot of the Fallout ones. That is definitely present in like in Fallout 1 and 2, there's a lot of silliness. You meet a lot of weird characters and a lot of strange stuff. Whereas in Fallout 3 and 4, you don't really get that. They try to take it a lot more serious. And some would say to their detriment. I don't mind it, I think they have their place, but I do like the silliness. That's why Point Lookout's like the best DLC in Fallout 3, because it leans into that silliness again. Which is tops, because it's like, that's what Fallout's about. It's about nuclear wars happened, everything's gone topsy-turvy, everything's on its head, like nothing is the way it is in modern life, everyone's gone a bit loopy. You know, whether it's from the radiation actually making people insane or whatever, like everyone's a bit weird. And that's okay. That's the way it should be. So Old World Blues, not my favorite DLC. but I do play it every time, and I do enjoy it most times. I think if you wanted, like, 100% it, it's definitely a hassle. It's a lot of just trudging back and forth, exploring literally every place. But, yeah, I don't mind it. And it continues the story of the courier. So this is the thing, like, all the DLCs, I don't remember if they did it in Fallout 3. And I don't think they did. Correct me if I'm wrong, and I probably am, but, like, in Fallout 3, when you started and finished a DLC, they didn't do, like, an intro, like for the main game, where they go, like, war never changes, and they run, like, the old-timey slideshow and stuff, and they do it at the end of Fallout 3, you know, they're like, this is the story that happens after you finished, you know, like, this companion goes and does this, like, the Brotherhood of Steel takes over the Wasteland, that kind of thing. I don't remember them doing that in Fallout 3 DLC, but they might have. I'll admit. I cannot remember. But in New Vegas, every DLC has that. Every DLC has its own, like, little internal story, basically, where they give you an intro and they introduce, like, why you should care about this place. And then they give you an outro and talk about, you know, the characters and what they did after meeting the courier, and that's the important thing, because it's like, it sort of tells you how the courier impacted their lives, how the courier did this. And it builds that legend of the courier. And Old World Blues is a really good one for that. It really does. It talks about the courier specifically a lot. And then the next one I play in this order is normally Dead Money, but I don't enjoy it. But that's for a completely different reason. It's not because it's boring. I think the story in Dead Money is quite interesting. But in terms of the gameplay of Dead Money, I hate that they take away all your gear. And you're going to be like, but the Aussie nerd, like, you were just saying, you know, Fallout 3, they take away your gear and stuff, and you do all this and it's fun. Yeah, but the bit where you don't have gear in the pit is probably one of the most annoying ones. And it doesn't hang around for half as long as Dead Money does. Because Dead Money has lots of exploring, lots of fighting the same couple of enemies in a really dreary looking place where everything's super dangerous and you don't have any actual guns. And there's no... Well, okay, you get like a couple of guns, but you know what I mean. Like, you don't have your guns from the main game. So you end up under-equipped when you go into Dead Money. And you never truly get properly equipped. And I know that's what they were going for. They were going for like a harsh, like survival-ish type DLC, but I still don't like it. It hangs around too long. I think it's fine. You know, I get what they were doing. I think what they were trying to do is fine. It just hangs around way too long. Inferno Rifle, I have no idea what that is. Frag grenades and chinchilla fur tunic. I do like chinchilla fur tunics. I would rather just have the chinchilla that the fur came from, but... Nah, I don't think we care. Never noticed that button before. So yeah, that's Dead Money. I don't mind it. It definitely leans into the weirdness. It definitely continues the courier's story. Which is important. Because then you get to the final DLC, my favorite DLC, and what I think is the crowning moment of New Vegas, where is Lonesome Road, where you get like all this story about the courier, all this backstory, and you realize how much of like a tragic figure the courier is, and you can play it however you want. I won't spoil that DLC that much, but it's not as silly, but it's got a lot of what I think is like, you really get an idea of sort of the devastation that the courier has caused. You really get an idea of the mindset of the courier as you see it, as you make the decisions. And it's like a very philosophical DLC. I think the main bad guy that you sort of the end boss and like the main guy you talk to throughout the whole thing I think he's an excellent bad guy. I think he's very like morally ambiguous, just like the courier is. And They have a very good dynamic. And it's just an amazingly fun DLC. I never miss that one. I will admit, it's a bit of a journey. It's called The Lonesome Road. With something called The Lonesome Road, you sort of know what you're expecting, though, because through all the media, they very heavily implied, this is a journey. This is a whole thing. Don't expect to be in, out, 5 minutes, will be done. It's a massive thing. Also, we're out of food, by the way. The corn isn't grown yet, but I think we'll just harvest that and grow it again. That is if we don't botch it. Yeah, no, this'll feed us for a while. Even if we botch half of it, it should be okay. Yeah. Wow. Seriously, guys. I know that some of you aren't very good at... Yeah, okay. Tone, don't plant cut. We'll get Loirabal and Artium to do it, because... At least they have passion, they're going to get better. You are just a lost cause. You are just going to botch that, every time. No wonder we're running out of food. Anyway. So yeah, Lonesome Road, I have never once not played that. I have occasionally, on occasion, not played Dead Money. I have occasionally not played Honest Hearts, but that's rarer than Dead Money. Dead Money's definitely the one that I skip most often, because I just don't want that time investment. It takes you out of the game so much. Really? Okay. Okay. Let's just go and get them, I guess. Since they're going to try and... You know what? I think 2v2 is fine. Just go to sleep. Alright. Back to prison with you. Prison breaks. Worst thing they ever implemented. So silly. It's it happens if their mood is low and they're... Oh, great, I destroyed a toe. That's what I like. If their mood is low and they're in prison, it's fucking and? They're welcome to prison, bitch. I hate how they can just steal a key and they just walk out. It's so silly. So silly. I hate that event. It's definitely the most annoying. Right up there with that jet that has been flying around for the past 2 hours. Living near an Air Force base, it's tops. It's tops. I wish I would practice somewhere else. They've been flying over my house for 10 years. They can pick a different flight path. They can fly somewhere else for the next 5. All I ask is 5 years of space. Hopefully I'll have moved by that point. Won't have to deal with it. Anyway, but yeah, and it's the culmination of the story of the Courier, and that's why I love Fallout New Vegas. It's all about the Courier, and how they have this massive impact on the Mojave Wasteland. And, as I said, you can picture that years in the future, everyone will be telling, campfire stories and legends about the Courier that got shot in the head at Good Springs, I believe it. Oh, well, I believe. I know it's called Good Springs. I'm playing it right now. But gets shot in the head at Good Springs. And ends up completely changing the power dynamic in the Wasteland. Crazy. So anyway, long story short. 40-minute rant short. I'm playing Fallout New Vegas again. I'm quite enjoying it. I don't think I'll record it. I have a lot... I like to play with a lot of mods. I have a lot of mods on, and I would probably like to play with more, but I just haven't got around to it yet. I like to play with a lot of mods, and some of them are quite unstable. And I don't really want to record and play, and I would probably crash a lot. Probably as much as Stalker, and I don't want to go through that again, if I can avoid it. Or, sorry, Call of Pripyat. So I won't play for the channel, but just know I'm playing Fallout New Vegas again. I'm really enjoying it. Man, I miss it. I love Fallout New Vegas. What are you making over there? Right, bandage kits, that's right. Oh yeah, wait, because someone wanted that. That's why we're doing that. Who was it? It was you. You? You? I don't know. Whoever it was, I think that ship has already sailed. So let's just go ahead and stop doing that. Because we have so many. We have, what, 154? 180. 180 bandage kits. No, that's too many. We don't need those. We don't need those. Loirabal, you don't have a ranged weapon. Why don't you take a crossbow? And then you can equip that as a sidearm. Tone doesn't have a sidearm. I guess I can just equip this as a sidearm. You don't have a sidearm either. How about you take a club? You just have a club, so that's fine. Okay. Wow, Artyom, you were being antisocial, like, so far away. What are you doing? Why were you even out there? Okay. Sure. You're gonna, like, collapse before you get home. Oh, no. You don't need sleep, you just need food. I guess you won't really care then. Okay, well, we haven't really achieved that much. We have a little bit of research done. I need microelectronics. As soon as we get microelectronics, that's when things will change. Hopefully we'll get an exotic trade ship, we'll get another tome. Everything will be okay. If not, I'll look at, like, maybe trying to cheat a tome in. I don't really know how that works. I'll see. Normally I wouldn't, but as I have said previously, like, I think it's a bit bullshit that construction can be botched and you can lose a one-of-a-kind item, or effectively one-of-a-kind, like, incredibly rare, supposed to be one-of-a-kind item. And that has completely affected our playthrough. Like, this was going to be a cult game, and we have no cult, and no real ETA on a cult, which is a bit unfortunate. Now, how are you guys doing? Resistance dropped yet? 12, 11? It's not awful. Decent dining room? What? Is it just because the prison barracks is decent? It's mediocre impressiveness, yeah. Okay. That's still weird, though. Decent dining room. No, you ate your food on your little patch of ground we've marked as yours in the prison. There's no dining room. Bitch, there ain't no dining room. Alright. Well, we don't have much left to do. Hello, fire. Nah, it's gonna go out. Should be fine. We are really just waiting for Loirabal to finish this research. Which he's actually getting pretty good at, right? Like 7? 8. Pretty good. Pretty good, pretty good, pretty good. It'll be progress. I think we've got the whole food situation pretty much sorted. As long as we can keep planting, I think we'll be okay. Can anyone else plant? Alright, these two can. Yeah, actually, get everyone planting. Blue and Tone are no longer in a relationship. The final straw has faction imprisoned me. Isn't that how the relationship started? Isn't that exactly how the relationship started? Forgive me if I'm remembering that incorrectly, but I'm pretty sure faction imprisoned me was the reason that you fucking loved them. Whatever. Faction imprisoned me. I love how this game, like, randomly decides on what the last straw was. There must be some algorithm as to how it decides what the final straw was. I mean, obviously there is. It's a game. It's all algorithms. But you know what I mean. Like, there must be some weird, arbitrary way it decides what the final straw was. Because that's so silly. Oh, the relationship that started when I was a prisoner and you were the prison guard and I, like, seduced you and then I joined your faction. Oh, yeah, I hate you because I was in prison. It was the long game. Oh, my God. Blue's been running the long con. Of course. Oh my god, she just seduced the prison guard to get out of prison. And it worked. Wow, okay. I guess I didn't think about it that way. Wow, that's an interesting story. It's an interesting story. Rimworld's a game of stories, as they will tell you. Rimworld is a game of stories. I've been meaning to play Dwarf Fortress as well, actually. But Dwarf Fortress requires a bit more setup. And it's not quite as pretty as Rimworld. But if you do want to see some Dwarf Fortress, let me know. I haven't played it in a while. I can play it. It's no real big deal. And I'll get like the lazy noob pack and make it all pretty looking. So it's not all like ASCII. Which I love Dwarf Fortress, but ASCII, really? It looks disgusting. And everyone that's a big Dwarf Fortress fan will be like, oh no, after a while you don't even see the ASCII. And I'm like, I don't need to be like a programmer or whatever, like a hacker in The Matrix. I don't need to see the code. I'd rather just see some nice sprites. You know, having said that, Dwarf Fortress is made by like one guy. And it's programmed in what is effectively just Excel spreadsheets. So, you know, it gets a bit of leeway. Obviously, if it was more than one person, you could have one person doing the programming and the other one doing art design. But with one person, I get it. Like, you probably don't want to waste your time on art design if the other works. Still. Ugh, sorry. It's not pretty to look at. And I don't need a lot of graphics. Like, I'm not a graphics snob, I don't need amazing graphics. I appreciate good graphics, but I'm happy to play games on low, like, I don't really care. However, I draw the line at ASCII. Everyone has a line somewhere, and mine is ASCII as your user interface. No thanks. But anyway, guys, I hope you've managed to hang around till the end, hang out through all the Fallout chat. It was long. There won't be a rant like that again for a while. I promise. Yeah, that's emptied my system of all my Fallout hate. Not hate. I don't hate. I love the Fallout series. Fallout 76, which we didn't talk about, is spoiler alert. It's hot garbage. It's absolutely shit. It is the worst thing I've ever seen. I hope none of you enjoy that game, because it is really bad. It is so bad. It is so bad. It looks bad. It plays bad. It's optimized bad. The servers are bad. There is no redeeming quality about that game. It is the thing that every quote, allegedly, every Fallout fan asked for, and they just ruined it. I don't actually no. That can be the rant for the next Rimworld. Multiplayer Skyrim, and everyone's like, "Oh, I wish Skyrim was co-op." We'll talk about that next time. But anyway, thank you very much, everyone, for watching. If you like this video, make sure you hit that like button. If you want to see more content from me, the Aussie Nerd, feel free to subscribe to my channel. If you think you know any friends might enjoy my content, make sure you share a video or two with them. I really appreciate it. And finally, if you want to leave any hints, tips, tricks, feedback for videos, or you want to talk about the Fallout series or anything we talked about in this episode, make sure you leave a comment in the comments section down below so that I can see it and join in the conversation. And I will see all of you guys in the next episode. Goodbye.